Hey everybody, it's Doom here, and we're in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and we are on the Wraith. Now, the Dread Wraith is one's the size of an ogre, and that's the one we're going to do. But basically, a Wraith is just it's kind of like a hateful, evil spirit that speaks Infernal and Common. Let's see. It might appear armored or outfitted with weapons. That doesn't affect its AC or its combat abilities, and essentially it's just a spirit. So they can suck Constitution and kill you, and if they do, you'll rise as a Wraith. So I have here a piece of T-shirt that my kids grew out of that wasn't good enough to donate. I'm going to start with that. So I think what my plan is to get to use this skull as kind of like the base for it, even though I don't really plan on the skull being a big part of the sculpt. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue. And start burning myself. Okay, so I'm going to pull that down, and I'm going to use that as the basis for my design. And then I'm going to cut these strips ragged and jagged like so. And it depends on how far up you want to go. I'm going up kind of far. You don't have to. You can kind of go all the way up or part of the way up like I'm doing, or you could just tatter the bottom the best you can. But for what I think I'm trying to do here, the idea that's in my head is I'm going to have these kind of fold across each other and connect in places. Okay? So I have that as my basis. I'm going to get some wire. And I'm going to twist that around something. Let me get a toothpick here. Okay. And then I'm going to twist this and kind of make my wire a little thicker. I meant to go get other wire and I did not, so we're going to have to use this. And once I get that kind of in shape, how I want it, I'm going to bend that like that. I'm going to stick it behind that skull, or under that skull maybe. Yeah, I'm going to stick it under that skull. Okay. And I'm going to let that kind of fall into place, all around that in the front. And then I'm going to get some of the outer portion, and I'm going to actually glue it to that wire. And then I can bend that wire around and control it some. So let me get that there. I'm just going to get some glue. There we go. And I'm going to stick that wire to that glue. Roughly-ish. Okay. I'm going to let that cool on that side. And I'm going to open this side up and do this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find a piece that's kind of long. There we go. Something like that. I'm going to drag it up onto that wire and connect it. And I'm going to let that flop over. Okay. Now, once that dries and cools, you should be able to tug that around and kind of bend it in some shape to add some body to this dude. Nope, stuck to me a little bit. That's okay. Something like that. Cool. Now I'm going to bring these out a little bit in the front. Like that. And then, so that this back part cinches up a little better, I'm just going to get some wire. I'm going to wrap it around his neck from behind. I'm going to cinch that a little bit, and then just twist it around and make it a loose thing to hold this in place while I'm working. And then, I want that piece that I just made to go inside as well. So I'm going to figure out where my opening in the front is. I lost it. Let's open this back up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm just going to tuck that down in there, off to one side. Once I can figure out how I did that. There we go. And then I'm just going to glue that in there. Alright, I'm going to pull that shut. like that. All right. Now, for the independent pieces that I want to stick out, what I'm going to do, so these have some natural folds in them and stuff, instead of trying to do all that with my super glue like I normally do, I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue and create some folds. So just to create those folds, all I'm doing is grabbing the glue at a little bit of an angle, and then I'm going to kind of roll that shut like that. Okay. And I'm going to do that in a couple spots just to cinch these up. You don't need a whole lot of glue for that. A little bit should do the job. You just want to kind of roll that over and pull it shut like that. And I'll do that a few times and kind of capture what I want mine to look like. All right. Let's see here. Can't get it to... I'm going to twist this one because I can't get it to fold nice. I'm going to drag that excess down. There we go. All right, so it's still a little bulkier and bigger than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to drag these front ones out a little bit more and up. And then some of these back ones that are kind of... I'm just going to twist those up, close those like that. And then we can snip off some of the shit on the bottom. So now I need to, I need to get this across the front to close him where that's exposed. So this should be dry enough to do that at this point. Or that first part should be cool enough. So I'm just going to pull that across and close his front up like that. Okay. And then I'm going to build a kind of half-assed flight stand for him. And to do that, I'm going to kind of give this a weird shape. And then I'm just going to directly glue his form to it inside here. That might not be long enough. We'll see in a moment here, though. Okay. I'm going to drag that around and get a good bit of stuff there to kind of hold it how I want it. I'm going to drag it back a little bit. I'm going to saturate it with some glue going down towards the bottom joint where I broke it. Okay. Nice. Now, I don't think he's going to be heavy enough to need rocks or anything to sturdy this up. So my plan is to try to avoid that if possible. All right. Sweet. And that's pretty sturdy. All right. Now to get him on there, my plan is to just kind of get up here, shove that in there like that. So I'm going to get some glue in the hole here. All right. I'm going to pull it up some and kind of get it in place. There we go. So I have a lot more excess cloth here. So what we can do is kind of start snipping that off at weird angles. And I would recommend you fold it in half as you're snipping it off. And t-shirt stretch, so pull it a little tight, fold it and roll it. Snip off what you don't need and let it snap back, and it should be above the base. Now, that's going to need to be folded in half. So, we'll see where our mistakes are and where we need to fix stuff as we go. That's okay. I'm going to twist that and cut that off too. And like I said, if you pull it tight and you snip it at the base, when it bounces back, it'll be short enough to not be in your way. We're almost done with that part. All right, so this next part is where it starts getting a little terrible. I want to bring that arm up some more here. It's not really an arm, but you know what I mean, like the shape of where the arm would be. And then I want to connect this cloth on the back here to that stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this piece out to the side, and I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the back of that stick, and then connect that roughly with, and make it follow the curve of that stick. All right. Then I'm going to come, and all these little flat pieces, I'm going to rough those up with my scissors. Make them a little jaggedy. Okay. Now, the next part is clinch. We're going to get super glue and start slowly soaking it into the clothing. Okay. Is my super glue empty? Son of a damn it. And just be careful and pay attention to where you're putting it. Don't get it where it's dripping everywhere. And just kind of let it soak into place some. Okay. And this will make him sturdy like a miniature here. That's what this step kind of does. All right, get some more on that stick to make sure that's solid. And we're kind of at that point where we can sprinkle some baking soda and see where we do and do not need more glue. All right, so here what you want to do is you don't want to have big lumps. You want to have it kind of smooth. And you just want to be a little sparing. And what we're trying to do is see the spots where we need a lot of glue still. I think we covered a good bit of it, so it's mostly going to be around the edges where we need more glue. But we don't want to get lumpy and big here. We want to stay kind of... All right, so you see the spots that are still moving around here? Like that can move easily. That's where you need glue. And that will make that hard as a rock. Okay. Now any connection points that'll put it on the base solidly, You want to hit those two right now. And just kind of go around and make sure you hit everything. Now, once this is good, there's some more things we're going to do to it before we base coat it. So this is probably going to have to be a two-parter. I will actually be using this miniature on my tabletop in the near future-ish. So for me, it is actually worth putting in the extra effort that I might not normally do. All right. Now, if there's any spots you're not real happy with how they turned out, what you do, like say you don't like how that's exposed there, all you have to do is find a spot where you can get a little bit of hot glue and follow the natural shape of it. Kind of bend it how you want it in place. Sprinkle it with baking soda. And then pour your glue right on it, and that'll fix those problems. Okay. And just let that sit in place. And as that solidifies, it'll be good and hard and solid. All right. Now, for the edges, you can kind of catch those on fire with a minor burning hand spell, and that'll jagged those up pretty good. Just make sure you're not catching your house on fire. Okay. That should get rid of any spider webs too. Alright, so that's how the Wraith is going to look. Now, there's a couple things I'd like to add to my Wraith. This is completely optional, but what I have is some jewelry chain that I don't use very often. And I would like a couple chains on my Wraith, hanging down a little bit. So to get those to attach well, I'm just going to find where I want them to hang, and I'm just going to put a tiny dab of glue there. Just like that. And I'm going to shove the chain into the glue where I want to attach. And then I don't want it to be part of the complete construction. So then, just in that spot where it's attached and not on the entire chain, I'm going to get a dab of glue, and I'm going to hand sprinkle some baking soda there. Just like that. Okay, so that chain still hangs down, if you can see that. And I'm going to do that in a couple spots where I think it would be good. Now, you don't have to do this, obviously. And I am going to cut this hand off a little shorter right here. Perfect. And that's where I'm going to mount this bad boy. So on that kind of hand spot there. Shit. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, push that back up on there and get a good grip. Leave my chain hanging down a little bit. All right. A little bit of glue. Boop, 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 boop. All right, sweet. So that's what my Wraith is going to look like. I'm going to double check everything. On this little bit of ripped string here, I'm going to get some there we go. I'm going to double check to make sure everything's sturdy. Everything it does look sturdy for the dry brushing. All right, sweet. So anyways, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon and all that happy crappy. Leave comments. Go to the website, buy some miniatures. Not these miniatures, real Dungeon Swag miniatures. Quality, flexible, durable, and detailed miniatures for inexpensive fee. Scorpion and I personally put together the monthly box, and I just curated a sweet monster box. I don't know if it's up yet, and we did do an amazing 10-part hero box too. So check those out. What else? Oh, the Discord. We have a Discord. Come to our Discord. Hang out with us. Paint with us. Play RPGs with us. We are playing a game on there now called Doom Adventure, which is a very generic version of my own Tomorrow Comes Doom TTRPG. And we're having a lot of fun. We're doing that on Saturday evenings right now, but we could change that as needed. If we have more people that want to play, we could change days or add days. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bacow.